Welcome to the Snakebite, your home for all things Florida Southern College athletics, where we bring you inside access into the world of moccasin athletics. Here are your hosts, Andrew Pollen and George Connolly.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Snakebite. I'm Andrew Pollen.
And I'm George Conley, and here's what the Mocs have been up to. The varsity baseball team went 2-2 over their 4-game road stand and have now hit 16 home runs while driving in 49 total runs on offense over their first 7 games of the 2020 season. Following 2 close losses to end the trip, the Mocs will look to get back to their winning ways this weekend as they play host to Lincoln Memorial for a 3-game weekend series.
The softball team also saw their record improve to 5-2 after playing 5 games this weekend in Vera, Florida. The Mocs upset number 4 West Florida, shutting out the Argonauts in a 1-0 win. Kristen Beacham was named SSC Pitcher of the Week after pitching 19 1/3 shutout innings over 5 appearances. Our own Lexi Potter spoke to assistant coach Mo Triner about the team's start to the season. Here's what she had to say.
Coach, your girls played 5 games this weekend. That's tough for any team. What are your takeaways from the start of the season?
So far, so good. We're just trying to keep people healthy and make sure that we're ready to go and getting our feet wet after the beginning of the season. I think, part of it is just trying to get the camaraderie together as a team and make sure that everyone's on the same page. I think that, for the most part, our kids have been doing a really good job of just playing together as a unit.
Definitely. So, Kristen Beacham was SSC Pitcher of the Week. How important has she been to your strong start as a team?
Pitching's huge. In our game, it could mean one pitch could change the difference of a game. So Kristen's done a great job. She's bought into what we're doing. She really understands pitching a little bit better now. I think for her to understand that we don't need her to go out and make people get out. We just need her to throw good pitches, and she'll do really good things.
Awesome. So earlier this month, USA Softball kicked off their Stand By Her tour. What was it like getting to see the team interact with the pros?
It's really neat. It's really kind of a neat atmosphere. The Team USA has a lot of kids that have been on TV before, and our kids those are their idols. So I think it's kind of fun to watch them kind of interact and kind of at least meet some of their idols and watch that they do make mistakes too. And our kids kind of were having fun with it and joking around that they make mistakes and it's okay to make mistakes and just learn from it and move on.
That's amazing. Thanks, Coach, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Lexi. The Mocs continue their road trip with a 3-game series this weekend in Melbourne as they will take on the Panthers from Florida Tech. Now, George, both baseball and softball off to 5-2 starts here in this 2020 season. How important has it been for these 2 programs to get off to these strong starts?
I think it's great for both programs, obviously. You need to find confidence in that early part of the season, but it's important to note that these 2 teams have gotten off to 5-2 records in very different ways. The softball team has played a lot of close, low-scoring games with great pitching, great defense, a lot of 1-0, 2-1 type scores. As we said in the baseball reader, there's a lot of offense. That's a high-powered offense, a lot of great players, so that takes a little bit of pressure off of the pitching, off of the defensive side when you're putting up that many runs. So it's 2 different ways of going about it, but 5-2 is a great record nonetheless.
Speaking more on the baseball side now, high-powered offense, that's really been a lot of Zach DeWert the first few games for the Mocs here. He's healthy this year, he's back, he's having a great start to the season. How big has he been for that team?
He's been huge. Whenever a team can have one great offensive player, the Mocs have multiple, but DeWert just being one of them, it can really help free up that middle of the order. The players who bat before and after a great player, they can both benefit because the strategy from a managerial standpoint when you're playing a lineup like that is very difficult to manage. There's a lot of intentional walks, pitching around batters, which will just load up the bases and put up more runs through, which the Mocs have done very well. DeWert has 4 home runs through the first 7 games. Hot bat, great offense. They should have a lot of success throughout the year.
Yeah, very well said, George. Switching on to basketball. On the men's side, the number 6 ranked Mocs improved to 21-2 on the season following a win at Lynn and a win at home against Florida Tech. In the Florida Tech win, the Mocs topped the 100-point mark for the 5th time this season, and Jack RAUCH poured in a career-high 29 points. Here's what he had to say following the win.
Jack, great win here tonight for the team. You had 6 guys scoring double figures. really blew this one out. You got a chance to get some guys in, get some minutes at the end of the game. What did that mean for you as one of the captains of this team to see some guys get to take some shots there at the end?
It was a great program win. I mean, you know, we went nuts when those guys were making threes at the end of the game. It's great to get them in the game. I mean, they worked so hard in practice for us to be, you know, 21-2 or whatever you are right now. And, you know, Schneer's been a really hard worker. Shout out to my boy Schneer. He knocked down 2 of them. That was awesome.
For you, a career high 29 here tonight. You added 13 rebounds. What was that like for you? Really went off there in the second half.
It wasn't really any different than any other night. You know, I'm just doing whatever it takes to get the team W. You know, the ball went in the basket a few times and came out with a win, so it was great.
Another big game for you guys as a team. What's really been working lately? You got 3 weeks left of the season. What do you want to see the guys do these last 3 weeks?
We got a couple big ones coming up. I think we need to play really good defense for 40 minutes. I think that's going to be the difference in, you know, making this championship run that we're trying to, you know, accomplish here. So defense for 40 minutes, and obviously, you know, we can put on an offensive show any night. You know, doesn't matter. So.
Congrats on the good game and another win. Good luck over the rest of the season. All right.
Thank you.
Jalen Hinton was named SSC Defensive Player of the Week for the 3rd time this season after recording 16 rebounds and 6 blocks over the Mocs pair of victories.
On the women's side, the Mocs suffered a tough loss in their matchup against Florida Tech by a final of 70-73, despite scoring 29 points in the 3rd quarter and getting a career-high 22 points from Becky Kaladiev. Elsa Landberg returned to the floor after missing several games, and she finished the contest with 7 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. The Mocs are back in action tonight as both teams take on Rawlings at home. Now, Andrew, we were both at the games on this most recent Saturday. What did you see from the Mocs?
On the women's side, they were trailing by 16 at the half. They really turned things around in the second half. They lost by 3. It was a close game. They played a great second half. They came out with some fire. They came out with some fight. That's what you wanted to see, especially from a young team trailing in a game that, if you ask them, they probably should have won. They ended up really fighting their way through and playing a complete 40 minutes there, not giving up towards the second half of the game, and that was good to see from this young team. On the men's side, they dominated the Panthers. The Panthers, and it was awesome to see them do that. They got a bunch of bench players in at the end of the game. Those guys knocked down some very clutch threes, which is great to see how hard they work and get to reap that reward there. We heard Jack talk about it during his interview. So that was just really special for that program. You know how tight-knit this group is, and that was just great for them all around.
Absolutely. And as we said earlier, there are a couple of games played Wednesday at home tonight. But this upcoming Saturday, the Mocs are heading on the road to play Nova, and those games will be streamed exclusively on ESPN. What do fans need to know?
Well, on the men's side, this is a premier matchup. It's going to be a look at 2 potential postseason teams, 2 top 10 teams ranked nationally. You can watch it on ESPN.com or on the ESPN app. This is part of the D2 showcases that they do on ESPN3 every year for college basketball. It's a great exposure opportunity for some of these senior players on the Mocs team that are looking to go professional after the season. And overall, it's just a great chance to broadcast that game between the Mocs and Nova, especially on the men's side, as these are just 2 very high-powered teams.
Absolutely. It should be a great game to be broadcasted. Now let's switch gears to the men's lacrosse team, who opened their season with an 18-8 win against Malloy last Friday. Sean Nolan had 4 goals, and Jeff Atlas led the Mocs with 2 goals and 5 assists in the blowout win. The Mocs won 22 of the 30 face-offs in the game and took 48 shots. The team has a big challenge this Saturday as they hit the road to take on number 6 Belmont Abbey.
The men's tennis team opened their season on Saturday with a 5-2 win against number 7 Flagler. The Mocs had only defeated 1 other top 10 team in program history heading into that matchup. Head coach Greg Van Emberg said, quote, "Today was a great win that they deserved, but I'm more proud of all the commitment that they have to our program and the culture that they are creating," end quote. On Monday, the men lost to number 3 University of West Florida in a 4-3 matchup, while the women dropped their season opener by a final of 4-1 against number 7 ranked Argonauts. Eric Nordblom was named SSC Player of the Week on the men's side after going undefeated in his matches.
Over the last couple of days, the men's golf team competed in the Matlock Invitational, while the women competed in the World Golf Invitational. Recaps are available on fscmocs.com. In addition to the basketball games tonight, ice hockey will take on South Florida at 7 p.m., and JV baseball travels to Polk State for a 5 p.m. matchup.
Here's a recap of the rest of the upcoming matchups for the Mocs this weekend. Baseball takes on Lincoln Memorial in a 3-game series. Softball travels to Florida Tech, Women's tennis takes on number 13 Flagler on a Thursday. Women's lacrosse opens their season at Young Harris. Men's and women's swimming head to Clearwater for the SSC Championships. And basketball travels to Nova Southeastern for the ESPN D2 Showcase on Saturday. That's all from us this week at the Snakebite. I'm Andrew Pauling.
And I'm George Connolly. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week at 3.